Good morning, everyone. We are with our session Empowered by Inpower, and we are here to talk about climate change and environmental sustainability with Maryam Akhtar. And we are delighted to have her with us in the session. And this session is all about the fundamental change to the world that the local communities or the community around us are facing, different prospects of problems relating to climate change. So she is very much known in our community for global advocacy and awareness of strategies giving to environmental change and climate change. So she is here with us. So Maryam, over to you.
Thank you so much, first of all, for giving me the opportunity. And I would just just start with the workshop as we have a lot more to discuss. So shall we start? So before we start, I would really want all of us to, I just want to, just know that, do we know about the Sustainable Development Goals? Maheen, I just had a question that will participants can they comment at the same time or not? Can we engage them at the same time? All right, okay, let's just start. So if we talk about Sustainable Development Goals, they are by the UN, right? So there are like 17 of them right now. That are the aims and the goals that are achieved, that are targeted to be achieved by 2030. As you can see on the screen, there are like 17 of them right now. And we would be talking more detail about that SDG number 13, that is climate action. But before we start, there is this thing that SDG number 13 that is basically linked with all of the other sustainable development goals. If we talk about, this webinar, this session, that is SDG number 17, that is partnership for the goals, right? So without collaborating in partnership, we just can't attain any our goals. And so yeah, that's it. And before we, start, I just wanted to know that do we know about the Sustainable Development Goals? I guess we can just skip this for now. So if we talk about the sustainable development, that is actually the development of the present. That is a development that does not compromise the needs of the future generations. That is actually that you are doing and you are developing and you're contributing your part without just using all the resources for the future generations. So later on, there are like 3 pillars for the sustainable development that found the basis of the sustainable development goals that we are talking about in SDG number 13, that is climate action. So there are 3 of them: social, that leads to us humans, right? And environmental, that is planet. Economic, that is the prosperity. So there are like 3 basic pillars which form the foundation of all the sustainable development goals. Yeah. So before the SDGs, there were MDGs. Their tenure was from 2000 to 2015. As we have just covered that there are like 17 SDGs, but when we talk about Millennium Development Goals, there were 8 of them. Let's see here as well. It included to eradicate poverty. It also focused on maternal health as well, quality education, reduce the child mortality. So there were like briefly 8 of them, the goals, which were planned to be attained by the time of 2015. But if we just see the results of the MDGs, the extreme poverty levels they decreased by 2015 as compared to the previous figures that we have, that we can see in the figure as well, as compared to 1990 and 1990 as well. And when it comes to the quality education by 2015, there was reduction in the students that were out of the school as well. And results of the MDGs also resulted in increase in the global internet connectivity all around the world as well. But so there comes this question that why then, when the goals of the MDGs were achieved, why do we need it SDGs? So the main point is that the MDGs, they mainly focused on to move on the poverty and maybe for the low income countries. However, SDGs, they are global. And they focus on three parts we are talking about as well: people, planet, and profit. And they are global and they apply to all the countries of the world. So now, these are the SDGs, right? So we are going to focus on the climate action. Actually, my viewpoint was before we, just talk about climate action and climate change in Pakistan or even, globally, we should be aware that, how is it connected with other things in our life? Because before, we just understand and we decide to play our part, it's really important to know how is it really connected to even me using just sitting in my home or even talking and giving a lecture, right? So it's everything that we do has an impact, and it is totally linked to all the energies and everything. Because if we just see climate action, it's linked with zero hunger as well, because due to the climate change we can see there are droughts, right? So there are floods even because of that. Our yield, the crop fields and everything, they get disturbed. So in the end, at the later we see the cycle, it contributes to reduction in the crop, and the prices are going to increase, and the poor, they are going to suffer. So it can add to the zero hunger as well, and quality education as well. So we are right now talking about the climate action, or climate change. So that is awareness, that is quality education, that is SDG number 4. So here you can see that it's totally linked with all the SDGs. We have to really understand that, and we can just see that is the climate action, that is 13, right? So later comes 14 and 15, that is life below water and life on land. So you can see the pollution that we cause, it has such a drastic effect on the life below water. You can see that the turtles, they are endangered as well. And there are like many other examples in which, our role to the climate change really disturbs the life on land and life below water as well. Okay, that was enough of the, the background. Before we start, I would like to share this video clip. I hope you enjoy. So yeah, that was about it. I really like that video. That is really true, right? So we all must have heard about dinosaurs, and we must have read in our books as well about them, right? That how they went into extinction. So the point here is, as you know, um, as you know, just stated by as just stated by the character as well, that we humans, we ourselves, are just spending the amount on the fossil fuels because the government as well, they're giving fossil subsidies, and due to that, we ourselves are driving ourselves to extinction. Okay, so we have to stop doing that and invest that amount in something better for our future, for sustainable development, and for sustainable growth as well. Just before we talk about climate change, first we need to be mindful of the two terms, that is weather and climate. Weather, it can be, if I use the example of a metaphor, weather can be your grade that you get in your exam, right? However, the climate, it's the overall grade that you're getting, overall grade at the end of the, you can say the GPA that you're getting. However, weather is one score of an exam. It, just keeps changing. But climate, that is over a long term, long period of time and space, how the atmosphere is behaving. However, weather, on the other hand, it's just a short period of time, and it can change within minutes or hours as well. So within a day, you can have different weather conditions, and the climate, as we can see in the graph as well. So it's basically over a long period pattern of over decades as well. So we have to be mindful of the two terms, that is weather and climate. So there is another most important thing when it comes to climate change. We have to be uh, aware about the greenhouse effect. I guess most of us might have also in art school as well. So if we see the step as indicated in the picture as well, the step one is that solar radiation of the sun, they reaches the earth, right? And some of them are bounced back into the atmosphere. While the rest of the sun energy, it is absorbed by the land and the oceans, which is, resulting in heating the earth. Because this heating, this greenhouse effect, this is really important because without it, our earth would be too cold to inhabit. So this thing, this phenomena, this is good. This is amazing. But what actually is then going wrong, right? So the point is the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere that form a layer and which are absorbing the sun's energy, that is increasing way too much. And if we talk about if you just recall some of the common greenhouse gases that you can think of, that would be carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is one of the major greenhouse gas that is contributing to global warming. So if we just see, this graph, that is the greenhouse gas emissions by economic sectors. Which sectors of our life are contributing to this greenhouse gases, which are then absorbing so much of the sun energy that was actually, was supposed to go back into the atmosphere, not getting absorbed by the earth. So that is the actual problem, right? Because of that, the earth's temperature are rising, and because of that, it's leading to global warming. That is how the phenomenon is actually working. So if we see energy sector, energy, transport, industry, buildings, they are adding, they are the major sectors that are contributing towards the greenhouse gases emission, agriculture and forestry as well. You can just, see the facts and figures and the percentages, the different sectors of the greenhouse gas emissions. All this carbon dioxide that we are adding to the, so so major when it comes to okay. This leads to another question, that what is climate target. So, the global climate is the temperature increase 1.5 degrees centigrade, and we should, we should be above 2 degrees. So, 1.5 degrees centigrade is the target for now, that with the temperature by 1.5 degrees centigrade. So, just see, okay, we have just seen that we have in the past, and we have seen, okay, the past that we written. Now let's just, just travel on the time machine and see the future projections as well. So are we on the track to, to achieve it or not? So the light color here just, represents the current process. If we keep on that we have right now, the temperature becomes 7 to 3.8. Take pleasure and care, and is represented by the sign that is all they become we just set our next targets, we can limit the if we have to maintain 2 degrees centigrade consistent, so the for the dotted lines, and for 1.5 that is represented by to that is just the in the future as we travel. We have seen the future things as well. So now there is this thing when it comes to climate change, that is the term of the carbon footprint. We have seen on a mass scale that how greenhouse gases are being added at different sectors of industries. But there is one more thing that you have to be really mindful of, that is we ourselves, me as a human or you, that is our carbon footprint. So we, even if we can't at this point, if we can't go out there and have a change in the policies and have the government, have all the governments to add this green sector in their life or policies to be mindful of, and the industry as well. But we at this point we can be mindful of our own carbon footprint, and that is carbon actually the greenhouse gases emission that are contributed by an individual or even an event or something like that. But, me as a human, so the point comes, okay, what can I do? Me as a human, right? So there are like 3 major ways that we add carbon, that we add the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. That is the lifestyle. Lifestyle include what do you consume, eat, or buy. And then there comes this point of the household as well. So where do you live? How do you live? What are you, the practices that you follow for living as well? And then lastly, transportation as well. How do you commute? Do you use public transport? Do you always, travel by your own car? And, or do you like to travel the short distances by foot? Or do you even use cycle or something? So we, first of all, there is a link here. You can use it to, I will ask for now. I will, in the end, drop it in the chat as well. This is a link that you can use to check your carbon. There would be a questionnaire that you are going to answer. It would be basically I'll information, and then you can check your footprint. And in the end, there will be a full report that if all the people on the planet Earth had lifestyle like you, how many planets we would need to survive, planet Earth we would need to survive. So do check that, and then you will know that how much role you are playing into greenhouse gases, or are you on the good side, or are you also a person who has to really work on his or her own footprint or his or her own lifestyle, also transportation. So before going on, that the government, big organization doing something. Let's for a moment, carbon print and start with so the overall it. So there are like three levels that we all can create. We can play a role in terms of fighting against climate change. That's individual level. As we have just seen at the individual level, I can do or you can do that is in carbon footprint, right? I can try to reduce it to a very minimum level. Okay. That is a good thing, right? And when I do that, I can be the one and I can make a change at a collective level by, we all, if I'm going towards a plant-based diet, or I'm a person who's, is of the view that at a collective, we should I should, communicate and be the part of the policy. Uh, we can bring, different recommendations in the comments as well. So this is how we can contribute our role. This is lastly, this is a video, which kind of summarizes. So yeah, that's it for now. We can see the questions. Okay. Manisa says, I am from the northern areas and I do see climate change eventually, but we do have support from our government bodies and we are trying to contribute at a community level, but it is not healthy. Yeah. About that, I do have colleagues at Fridays for Future Pakistan who are from the, Gilgit-Baltistan side, from the GB, right? And they're always, just tweeting the videos regarding the, the environmental conditions there as well. We can see the glaciers melting as well, and we can see the collapse of the bridge, right? Even that. So, recently we had a meeting with with WWF DG, and he was of the view that he is, he mentioned that he is going to, he is going to help the communities out there as well. And our government that do says that we are going to play a role, but I do know at certain point that we as youth as well, we are advocating that there is not that much change, because the people there, they're really suffering it because as we can see the collapse of the bridge as well and the glacier outburst, there are like so many people who were affected. But the point is when we talk to our to upper organization, they do say that they are going to play, they do play a role at some point as well, but still there is a lot gap. I will say that that's it as well. Okay, how can we bring changes among us and see every second person here has a habit to go climate change 1 year another. Okay, so how can we bring changes among us? Okay, so if I talk about this, we just have seen, I will just drop a link for the carbon footprint. And okay, I will just share it later on. It's not getting shared. So first of all, we really need to check our carbon footprint, right? There is a link, and we can all go to that link, and we can check the carbon footprint. Then you will know in how much water you are. Okay. If we talk about the kind of the environment, how you live your life, maybe you can shift towards public transport instead of you can carpool. Instead of using your own private mode of transport every time. Me, if I talk about myself, I personally in my campus, I have a bicycle, and I use that for traveling. And there's one more thing as well when it comes to my personal view, that is reducing the use of plastic as well. So why not whenever you go for shopping as well, um, I, our family members, we, are buying the stuff in those plastic bags, right? So why, me or you, we can, have a tote bag that can be a cloth bag, right? And we can carry it with us every time we go for grocery or shopping and use that bag. It's also going to save some amount, because whenever you buy some other bag, even if the amount is little, you are paying in Pakistan. If I talk about in my, my university, you have to pay around 20 or 10 rupees for a bag, right? So why, when you have so many bags lying around, just keep one. And whenever you are going for grocery, use the same bag. Have a tote bag with you. It can be a cloth bag, and just try to go as much plastic free as well. Limit the amount of the plastic that you use. It can be plastic straws as well. It's summers, right? So I'm like pretty sure that most of us, we buy smoothies or shakes, and it comes with a plastic straw. So what we can do, maybe we can do one-time investment, that we can go towards steel glasses, steel straws maybe, or some other, there are like various options in the market available right now. So when every time you go and buy a juice, you can say to the shopkeeper there that you don't need a plastic straw. So yeah, that's it. Ahad, yes, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Okay, hi there. My name is Ahad Kareem, and I am 9 years old. My question is, how can I contribute in saving my earth? What things I should do? Thank you.
Okay, so we have seen the three. First, you have to decide at which level do you want to go. At which level that you want to end up. There is first individual level. At individual level, you can just start reducing the amount of you can reduce your carbon footprint. That is reducing the greenhouse gas emissions that you are contributing to the environment. And then after, you feel like you have done such a pretty and amazing job, and you just want to, communicate with other people around you. You want them to know that, okay, this is the problem, this is how you you can go out there and engage around, and you can make such a big difference. Just trust me, you can, because it's all about just one drop in the, you can see, when you just throw a stone in a river or pond. We all used to do that, right? You can see the ripple effect, right? It just travels. So you can make that change, and you can start it, and then it's going to just travel to other people, and they're going to create awareness among their family and friends. And this is such a basic point. This is such a basic point that I'm going to communicate. That is, pollution, it does add a lot as well. So be mindful whenever you're out there in picnic, or even daily chores. You are out there in your college, schools, universities, or even work. Don't throw anything on the ground. It might be it might come into your mind that, oh, this is not going to play any role, but maybe you can start by little, and little things that matters. So you can just travel a little bit, because they're like, so if I talk about my university as well, so there are like so many dustbins out there. We as a human, I think we are lazy, we don't use them. So we are like, just throw them and leave them on the floor, that thinking that that is not my work, that is the work of some staff. But no, that is my my close friends, whenever they do something bad. I'm kind of a person who says like, just that, stay away from me if you're just going to do that. If you can do that as well, but try to be very humble. You can't be that much angry. Communicate in such a good way, and yeah, that's it. Do you have any more questions?
All right, Maryam, I think we don't have further questions, but it was very nice session. Maryam, any piece of advice that which you'd like to give us as a whole, as a community of Women Ascension?
Oh, okay. One advice would be, that is a rule by Jordan Peterson as well. That would be, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world, because it's come to, the climate change as well. Let's, play our part first, and then we can be out there, then we can, raise a voice that the organization or the government, they're not playing a role. First, let's, for now, try to go green and to reduce our carbon footprint, and then inshallah we can just create we can create awareness regarding this issue.
Thank you, Maryam. It was a wonderful session, and we learned a lot of tips. And it was very cute that every age level has joined us here. So I hope it has some impact. And we hope to hear from you more. So Maryam, thank you for your time. And thank you
so
everyone for
much.
joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.